Hi everyone, how are you all doing? This is Paris Namda. In this video, I'm going to share the question paper for MPSE 008 State Politics in India, June 2025. So have a look. This is the first question. Now we'll move to the Hindi translation of this question paper. This is it. So I have shared the question paper with you, and now for the ones who were watching this video for the question paper, this is it. And now the people who wants to know more about how I did it, how I attempted this paper, and what questions I did attempt. So I would like to tell you that I had two consecutive exams, which one I gave yesterday and one was today. I don't remember the subject code which I appeared yesterday, but today I appeared for this MPSC 008. So I was not very well prepared for this exam, but uh, having done my bachelor's from IGNOU and now pursuing MA from the same, I have come up with some suggestions. My percentage in my bachelor's, I did course of BAPSH, Bachelor's of Arts Political Science. It was not a great score. I got 65%, but along with other things which I was doing along with my graduation, I think I scored well according to what I had studied for my exams. So I gave around 16 to 17 exams in my graduation because the first year it was it went into COVID, and the marks for first year were allotted according to the average marks which I got in the second year. So I appeared for around 16 exams, 16 to 17 exactly. I don't know the number, but I'm giving you this reference because I have given a lot of IGNOU exams till now. After completing my bachelor's in first year of MA Political Science, the course in IGNOU it's called MPS Master of Political Science. I have appeared 4 exams in the first year, and till now I have given 7 exams of second year. One exam is left, and then I'll be done with my MA. So I have a good amount of experience, not a topper student, but yes, I did clear my graduation, and I don't hope, I am very confident, and I firmly believe I'll pass very well in the second year as well, because all my exams which I have given, I'm very confident about all of them, and I'll share my result as well. Little doubt is what little doubt in my head is there regarding my second year is that in my first year I had exams of 100 marks, but in second year they are of 50 marks. So for 100 marks I used to write around 20, I used to fill around 20 sheets. And 20 sheets means for one answer of 20 marks I used to write around 4 pages, and for 5 questions, 20 sheets. Like I count like this is 1, and this is 2, this is 3. Okay, to clear your doubt. So 20 sheets in my bachelor, in my first year. But this year, second year, the questions, the exam is of around 50 marks. So I'm a little skeptical about how much content do they actually want. In the question paper it has been mentioned that 400 words for every answer. So I think on one page, you for me it's like 100 words on one page. So for 400 words, 4 pages are ideal. And for 5 5 questions, around 20 sheets should be filled. In all the examination I have not been able to fill those 20 sheets. For some I have completed around 17 is the bare minimum which I have done. And I have completed all the questions. It's not that I leave any question, I do complete my questions. So an advice for everyone of you, students of IGNOU who are going to appear in your exams, I would say that do carry a watch with you. Do carry a watch with you in your exam, because it is very important to track down your time, because you need to keep a track of time. Otherwise if you leave some question, then your marks will be hit badly. Therefore do take a watch with you, right? Not talking a lot, I'll be sharing my result when it will arrive, when it will come out. And then I'll be in a position to give you more suggestions on how to attempt and how I have attempted it, because then you guys will tell that am I worthy enough to even suggest you with these the tips. Otherwise without result it is of no use. So I'll definitely be uploading a video after my result. But for now, how I attempted this paper I'm going to tell you, and what questions I did attempt, right? So the first, I did attempt the first question, which is briefly explain the dominant features of state politics in India in the first 2 decades after independence. The question is asking about the dominant features of state politics in India in the first 2 decades after independence. So as I told, I was not very well prepared. No, I would say not prepared at all. So whatever previous knowledge I had, I just wrote it there. So what came to my mind was, in the first 2 decades, what went in India was, the first thing which came to my mind was Nehru's policy, Pandit Jawaharlal Nehru's policy, which was of NAM, non-alignment movement, which meant non-alignment from both the power blocks at that time, which one was USA and the another one was Soviet Union. This philosophy of non-alignment meant creating a third kind of front where uh, Nehruji's vision led this NAM, and other leaders of other countries like as Nelson Mandela from South Africa, they even supported this NAM, the ideology of NAM, staying non-aligned with both the power blocks. So one was this, and second was Panchsheel, which was 5 principles of peaceful coexistence. And actually the correct answer for this is something else. I am telling you what I remembered and what I wrote there. So because I checked the exact answer, it is not what I'm saying to mentioning here, but I'm going to tell you what I wrote and how many marks I'll get. I'll even share that, right? So what came to my mind was, firstly I talked about Nam, Panchsheel, and then I wrote about in 1960s. In 1962, we had a war with China, and after the war with China, our foreign policy changed. There was a shift in our foreign policy because it took a pragmatic turn after the war with China, because Nehruji was even he was took by a shock, because he didn't even expect such a retaliation and such an attack from our neighbor China. So yeah, after that he even took a pragmatic turn. And then I talked about 1965 war with Pakistan, that Pakistan was even trying to take advantage of India its after its war with China, where China came into India's uh, inside Indian territory, and it had occupied around 38,000 square feet of Indian land. So, seeing Indian situation, Pakistan also thought of taking advantage. So here Pakistan attacked India, and India India stood up against Pakistan, and India won the war. After settling the war, to settle the war, our Prime Minister Lal Bahadur Shastri ji went to Tashkent to sign the Tashkent agreement. But as you all know, sadly, he died there in Tashkent, and this was all what I had written. And yes, I wrote this. I just wrote 3 pages for this answer. The second one which I attempted was discuss the developments that have transformed party system in India since 1980s. The question is about party system. So, what is party system? Party system in a democracy, what is democracy? Democracy is a form of government, right? Democracy is a way in which people are controlled, people are served, right? Another form you can say in which people were controlled were in previous times there was monarchy, anarchy, dictatorship, and then democracy, which is a very finest form of you know staying together and getting ruled by someone, which is getting autonomy at the end, which is getting legitimacy at the end from the people who are voting. So this is what is democracy. And when we talk about party system in a democracy such as India, political parties have a lot of relevance. If you will study polity deeply, you will get to know that political parties are at the center in a democracy like as India, and an individual doesn't have much say. Although some parties are leader centric, but still the relevance of a party is much more than a single leader. So I explained what is party system in India, and generally what is party system. There are like 2 to 3 types of party system. One is single party system, which exists in China. There is just single party there. Then there is double party system, which exists in USA with the existence of Democrats and Republicans there. And then I talked about India, where there are multiple parties. There is multiple party system in India, right? But as you know, if initially for around 25 to 26 years, there was dominance of Congress, especially in this central government. So you could say for that period of time around till 1975, after our independence, 26, 27, 28 years, there was just dominance of one party. But after that, coalition governments started emerging. Morarji Desai became the prime minister under Janata Dal government in 1978, I guess. and after that there was decline of Congress after 1980s, in especially in the state assemblies, and regional parties started coming up. So yeah, after the question asks is the what is the crux of the question is the development that transformed party system in India since the 1980s. So after 1980s, what happened was there was decline of the Congress era, and there was upsurge of the coalition governments. So coalition governments had started coming into play, and regional parties also emerged after 1980s. As if we talk in the northern belt, the Samaj Party (BSP), which was established by Kanshi Ramji, it was uh, it was a party which was formed to articulate the rights of Dalits, backward caste people. And another party, if we talk, is BJP, Bharatiya Janata Party, which got formed in 1980. So these were the developments which later on after 1980s changed. It challenged the dominance of Congress which existed in the political landscape of our country. And after that, in 1998, Atal Bihari Vajpayee became the Prime Minister in the NDA alliance, the National Democratic Alliance. So this is how there was a shift from Congress dominance to coalition parties, and I had mentioned these points in this question. Let's see how much marks I'll get in this. The third question which I have written is discuss the impact of globalization on state politics in India. Impact of globalization on state politics in India. So, firstly, I have talked about globalization in this question. So, what is globalization? I have written is there is a scholar named as Anthony Giddens. He says that globalization is actually a process of interconnectedness through trade, investments, and exchange of culture. And he says that one event in one part of the world can have impact on the another. So this is globalization. Example: if there is war in one country, then there can be a spike in fuel prices in the another country, because example, like as there was this conflict going and I think it is still going between Ukraine and Russia. Due to this conflict, the chain the supply chain of wheat got a little head back, and wheat prices surged. So this is how we are all globally connected with the trade, and if anything goes wrong in any country, so it has an impact on another. So this is what is globalization at its core. It is interconnectedness of this whole world, as we call our world a global village, through trade, through uh, cultural exchange, all comes under globalization. So this is the definition part. And if we talk about the impact of globalization, so first thing, what impact of globalization, not a general impact on India, but it is talking certainly talking about, it is asking about the impact on state politics. So how did this globalization impact state politics? So if I have written in this answer is that the bilateral relations were changed after 1991. As you all know, globalization in India started after 1991 LPG reforms. LPG refers to L means liberalization, P means privatization, and G means globalization. After these reforms, what happened is bilateral relations with different countries even changed, because like as there were now different agendas to have relation with different countries, because we had now opened doors to different countries for imports and exports. So like as USA, which has had a history of supporting Pakistan in various wars, and in the Cold War even, and on the Kashmir issue also, it had supported Pakistan. But after LPG, USA saw India as a big market and an opportunity for its products to sell, and for getting cheap labor even. So this is all what I have written here. And another thing, there is multi-pronged impact which globalization have had, which is on like the increase in FDI, the foreign direct investment got increased, and then the boom in IT sector. There was a boom in IT sector, and if I one point I had written is that there was a question mark on India's sovereignty, as big giants like as Coca-Cola, big MNCs which which entered India, they can pressurize the government through channels like USA government to negotiate better with the Indian government. So there was a question mark on Indian sovereignty even after globalization. So these are the points which I had written. Now let's move on to another question. Examine the reason for the assertion of backward classes in Indian politics. Reasons for assertion of backward classes in Indian politics. So I have written about the backward classes in India. What are backward classes? How they are defined? Actually, under Article 341 and 342, scheduled caste and scheduled tribes are described in our constitution. The scheduled tribe and scheduled caste people are given reservation in educational institutions and in government jobs. For scheduled caste, there is around 15% reservation, and for ST, there is 7 to 8% reservation. Backward classes generally is a term which is used to refer to OBCs, which is other backward castes. So talking about the ST and SC, it had already been mentioned in the constitution when it was framed. But the provision for OBC, came after the Mandal Commission. Mandal Commission in 1988-89, under VP Singh's government, OBC got 27% reservation, and this allotment of reservation to OBCs saw great resentment from the upper caste people. And the reason for backward classes assertion, why did the backward classes assert? It is because of the economic exploitation and the wealth gap between the rich and the poor. And the backward classes, how it is defined is, what is a backward class? A backward class is defined as they are socially and educationally backward. They can be economically poor, but the criteria for defining OBC is socially and educational backwardness. And so this is it, what I had written in the exam. I don't remember much now. What other points I have written? Yeah, and the last question which I attempted was this 9th question. Examine the reasons for persistence of inter-border disputes in relation to federalism in India. I had no idea about it, but still I tried to attempt. I'll even give you an idea that how, when a situation arises when you don't know a certain question, how you attempt there. What I do is, you pick the words from the question and you try to explain those words, and you just arrive at kind of a structure when you start explaining the words and you don't know the entire answer itself. What I knew in this question was federalism, that what is federalism actually. So federalism, I knew federalism is generally, it is the power division in a country with the center and the state. power division between the state government and the center government. And I knew that India is a quasi-federal country with having a strong center. So this is federalism. And another thing which I then addressed is, like, I addressed the question in parts. When you don't know the answer, so answer whatever word try to explain it. So the other part which I answered is the reasons for the persistence of interwater state disputes. So why do the interwater states disputes, they don't get solved, and why do they persist? I was aware about two water disputes, two water river disputes. One is of Yamuna, where I think the Haryana government and Delhi government are two stakeholders. Another conflict was for Kaveri river disputes. It is a very famous river dispute, but I was not aware of the fact from which states do the Kaveri river flow. So I had written Karnataka and Kerala. I'll have to check, does Kaveri flow through these states or not. For the other the reasons which I gave why there is persistence of such issues, I wrote because both the states, it gets difficult for both the states to arrive at a negotiation point where it is beneficial for both of the states. And on table sometimes such negotiations are not being able to, they don't succeed, and such cases get into the Supreme Court, end up in the Supreme Court. And the condition of our country's judicial system. And there is a famous saying which says justice delayed is justice denied. So then in the setup of judiciary, these cases keeps on lingering on. This is what I had written, and let's see. This is all the information I had. Not well prepared for this, and but I have written around 19 sheets. Let's see. I have just added some points which I was already aware of, and let's see what kind of result I'll get out of the knowledge which I have poured down on the paper. I'm very excited for it. Let's see. Let's wait for the result. Thank you everyone. Signing out, Paras Namta.